All right, let's talk about the blueprint behind, well, everything you watch. We're not just going to look at what you're seeing on screen. We're going to pull back the curtain and find the hidden rulebook that decided exactly how it was made. So let's dive in. You know that feeling, right? You're scrolling, some ad pops up, and you're just sitting there thinking, who is this even for? It seems totally random, but I promise you it is anything but. The answer to that mystery is something called the client's blueprint. It's the hidden plan that dictates everything. So today, we're going to unpack that plan, look at the big questions that every single creator has to answer, and then we'll put it all to the test and decode a real ad campaign. Okay, so let's get right into it. Every single creative thing you see, I'm talking blockbuster movies, that little ad on your phone, all of it. It doesn't start with some random flash of genius. Nope. It starts with a super detailed plan, and that's the client's blueprint. The best way to think about it is like a recipe for a cake. The client gives you this incredibly detailed list of ingredients, the exact measurements, all the steps. Those are the client requirements. The production company? They're the chef, and their only job is to follow that recipe to the letter. Without it, you've just got flour and eggs all over the counter, right? It's just chaos. And this is how that whole process plays out. It's pretty straightforward. First, you've got the client, maybe a company with a new phone. They hand over their blueprint to a production company. That company goes off and makes the ad, and then boom, it ends up on your screen. It's a straight line from a corporate goal right into your living room. Now, this whole blueprint thing might sound super complicated, but honestly, it really just boils down to answering three core questions. Every single project has to have a solid answer for these.
Question number one, and frankly, it's the most important one. Who is this for? And this isn't some deep philosophical question. It's the anchor for the entire project. I mean, think about it. How can you make something that works if you have no idea who you're even talking to?
And when I say who, I mean really specific. We're talking about breaking down the audience by their age, their job, where they live, what they're into, the whole 9 yards. An ad for a fancy sports car targeting a 50-year-old executive is going to feel totally different from an ad for a new video game aimed at a teenager. It has to. Because at the end of the day, the audience defines, well, everything.
All right, next up is the big why. What's the point of all this? What do we actually want people to do after they see it?
And a lot of the time, the purpose is pretty clear, right? It's about selling more stuff, or maybe getting donations for a good cause. Or sometimes it's a government ad trying to raise awareness about something important. This why is what decides the whole emotional game plan. Are we trying to make you laugh, feel all warm and fuzzy, or maybe even a little bit worried? The goal totally shapes the feeling. And last but not least, the most basic question of all, what is it? What are we actually making here? Is this thing a poster for a bus stop? A TV ad? A whole movie? And sometimes the content is already decided for you. Like if you're turning a best-selling book into a film, you can't just ignore the book. So the what really sets the rules of the game, the format, and the creative sandbox you get to play in. Okay, so we've got the who, the why, and the what. But that's just the bones of the project, you know? Now we got to add the personality, the feeling, the vibe. And this is where the company's own identity really starts to shine. See, every company has what's called an ethos. It's basically their soul, their core values that steer the ship. And it is so important that everything they put out into the world matches that ethos. You just can't have a super traditional, old-school company putting out ads that are all edgy and chaotic. It would just feel wrong. And get this, a perfect example is Apple. Their whole ethos can be boiled down to one sentence. We believe in the simple, not the complex. And that's not just some catchy tagline they put on a poster. It's a deep-seated philosophy you can literally see and touch in every single product they create. Just look at the difference here. On one side, you have Apple's whole vibe in action. The single-button mouse, hardly any buttons on the phone, big, clean icons. Now compare that to what came before. Mice with a million buttons or those old Blackberries with a full keyboard. It's a night and day difference. This is a perfect visual of how a core value, simplicity, becomes a real thing you can hold in your hand. Okay, so it goes even deeper than just the ethos. Companies have this super strict rule book for how they look and feel. The official term is brand guidelines, but you can just think of it as their house style. It's the reason a brand looks the same no matter where you see it. And when I say strict, I mean strict. Take a look at these typical don'ts for using a logo. Don't stretch it. Don't mess with the colors. Don't move the bits and pieces around. Don't cram stuff next to it. These rules are not suggestions. They're ironclad. They have to be to protect what makes the brand the brand.
So it's not all big ideas and cool vibes. Every creative project has to live in the real world. And the real world has rules. It has limitations. We call them constraints.
And one of the biggest ones, time. You've got all the planning and scripting and pre-production, then you have the actual filming or creating, and all of it is hurtling towards a hard deadline. A movie has to come out on its release date. A magazine ad has a print date. There's no wiggle room. The clock is always ticking.
So you take all of this stuff, who it's for, why you're making it, the company vibe, the style guide, the deadline, the budget, the whole shebang, and it all gets put into one official document. It's called the client brief. This is the holy grail, the master plan. It's the one document that guides everyone from the very beginning to the very end.
Okay, enough with the theory. We've got the pieces of the puzzle, we know what goes into the blueprint, now for the fun part. Let's put on our detective hats and use all this to break down a real-life ad campaign.
We're looking at the Hold My Hand campaign from Jet2 Holidays. So let's break it down. First, the purpose. They want to get you excited to show you those magical holiday moments. And how do they pull that off? With that uplifting music and those bright, energetic shots. Next, the target audience. This is really clever. They didn't just make one ad. They made different versions for different people. One for families with a little kid, one for a young couple, one for an older couple. Each one is tailored perfectly. And finally, the theme or the vibe. It's all about connection, joy, and shared experiences, which is summed up perfectly in that hold my hand idea that links everything together. See how it all clicks into place? Every choice was dictated by the blueprint.
So here's the bottom line. What might have looked totally random before, now you can see has a hidden structure. It's like you've just been handed the secret decoder ring. You can finally see the logic, the strategy, the rules working behind the curtain of pretty much everything you watch. The blueprint isn't a secret to you anymore.
So I want you to try this. The next time you're watching TV and an ad comes on or you see a movie trailer, don't just let it wash over you. Try to decode it. Ask yourself, okay, who are they talking to here? What did they want me to do? What's the vibe they're trying to create? Now that you have the blueprint, what are you going to see differently?